I'm sick of the lies. The lies. The lies the mainstream sports media tells you, Braun fanboys, to make you believe LeBron James is the GOAT. He not the GOAT, dog. He not the GOAT. And today we're gonna talk about LeBron James and his narcissism. Yeah. You see, we heard, dog. I've heard plenty of times. You've heard plenty of times over the years. LeBron James is a narcissist. LeBron James is a narcissist. He's a narcissist. Well, it's true. It's true. He is a narcissist. All right. And we're going to prove it. We're going to give you all the proof you need. And we're also going to explain why LeBron James and his narcissism prevents him from being the GOAT. Yeah. See, because of that screwed up mental, dog. We're not even all the way into the mentality yet. We'll get into the mentality too, but not in this video. That's still in the works, dog. There's going to be statistical proof, dog. Statistical proof that his mentality prevents him from being the GOAT, dog. That he has soft mentality. But right now, we're going to look at one of the things that contributes to that soft mentality. And that's his narcissism. And we're going to explain why his narcissism holds him back from actually being the GOAT and doing GOAT things, dog. Yep. That's what we're going to talk about. So without further ado, let's just dive right in, dog. Let's just dive right in. So, we are actually looking at a website. This is what? myclevelandclinic.org. And I was just looking up narcissistic traits. What is this narcissistic personality disorder? And we're going to look up the traits and we're going to analyze them and we're going to match them to LeBron James. All right? Now, first, we see that narcissistic personality disorder is a mental health condition. It affects a person's sense of self-esteem, identity, and how they treat themselves and others. It's more than arrogance or selfishness. In the worst cases, people with NPD may struggle with feelings of failure or rejection, putting their own health, PEDs, and well-being at risk. So what is it? Blah, blah, blah. You know, we can look at that. How common is it? Oh, la, la, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Now let's get to symptoms and causes. Let's just get right to the nitty gritty. Symptoms and causes. Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. Examples of what NPD symptoms can sometimes look like. You got a grandiose sense of self-importance. Oh, who does that sound like? That sounds like LeBron James, dog. He's got a grandiose sense of self-importance. He calls himself the chosen one. He calls himself the king. He called himself the GOAT. He still to this day calls himself the GOAT, dog. You see? He thinks he's above. He thinks he's higher than everybody else, dog. He has a grandiose sense of self-importance. This is part of the reason why he gets a lot of coaches fired. They try to tell him otherwise of what he's supposed to be doing on the court. He does not like that. See, remember the coach killer video? Part of that is because of his grandiose sense of self-importance. He has no problem getting people fired, dog. No problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Because of his sense of self-importance, dog. There's more. Frequent fantasies about having or deserving. Ooh, that sounds like LeBron James. And when we talk about his fantasies of having or deserving, what could that mean? Maybe it's championships. Oh, maybe it's teams and teammates and playing for organizations, getting paid these high max contracts. Oh, you know what I'm saying? There's plenty of that. Plenty of that. You know, belief in superiority. Oh, that sounds like LeBron James. He even said it in the Mind the Game podcast, dog, talking about, oh, since I was 8 years old, I've always had this high understanding, this high basketball IQ. As a matter of fact, I've had a high sports IQ, and I feel like I was chosen for basketball. I have a superior mind. I'm superior. Belief in superiority. He believes he's above everybody else, dog. Need for admiration. Oh, who does that sound like, dog? That sounds like LeBron James. Of course, it's LeBron, dog. Ding, 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 ding. Rings the bell. It rings the bell, dog. Need for admiration. He's constantly looking for people to pay him compliments. He pays people to pay him compliments, dog. He's got Clutch Sports out there running rampant everywhere they can to talk nice about him. He's got Clutch Sports people emailing other people in the media trying to get him some MVP votes, dog. He needs the admiration. And we see it a lot in the games with the announcers. They're always talking, whenever it's LeBron James, they're always talking about something he's doing so great at his age. Oh, the great plays he makes. They're always trying to hype him up, gas him up, and he needs it. He needs that admiration, dog, and he will go out of his way to try to get it, you know, in a number of ways, dog. Entitlement. Oh, who is that? That is LeBron James. He's so entitled. He feels so entitled, dog. He feels like he deserves special treatment, dog. Willingness to exploit others. Oh, that is LeBron James, dog. He is willing to exploit other people for his own personal gain. And he is willing to tear down other players to make himself look better than them, dog. Willingness to exploit others. He exploits his teammates. He will use them and then he'll chew them up and spit them out. All right, go back down the road where you came from. Go to some other team, buddy. I used you for my championships. Now, goodbye. I'm leaving. I'm not loyal. Or goodbye. You're getting traded. I don't need you anymore. I got what I wanted from you. Goodbye. Goodbye. He is willing to exploit others. A lack of empathy that ties in with willing to exploit. Because he always seems like he does not care how other people feel. How other people feel, he does not care about your feelings. He even said it in the Mind the Game podcast. Hey, you got to sacrifice your loved ones to be great. You know, you have to sacrifice. I don't care how you feel. I don't care. I got to do what I want to do. Frequent envy. Oh my goodness. And that is ding, ding, ding. Another LeBron James trait, dog. Frequent envy. You see what I'm saying? He's jealous of Michael Jordan. It's painfully obvious. He's jealous of Kobe Bryant. It's painfully obvious. He's jealous of Steph Curry. It's painfully obvious. All these people who have bags, dog. He's jealous of players who have bags, dog. Anyone who's got a bag and was able to get multiple championships because of the bag they possessed, he has some sort of issue, dog. He has some sort of issue. Oh, man. There's so many ways to explain his frequent envy. But in most recent cases, let's just get to the most recent, dog. Let's get to Anthony Davis. Let's talk about Anthony Davis, his teammate, right? He's envious of Anthony Davis. And you may not realize that. You might think, nah, LeBron is the man, and LeBron, no. Anthony Davis, no. No, it's LeBron. LeBron, why does he have to be envious of Anthony Davis for? Dog, this is a pattern, dog. All right, let's not even talk about Anthony Davis. Let's talk about Chris Bosh, dog. Chris Bosh. Remember him? Remember when they lost in 2011? Remember when LeBron said on the Mind the Game podcast that Chris Bosh had to go to the 5? Chris Bosh had to go to the 5. All right? Eric Spoelstra, he had to get with Chip Kelly. He had to learn the spread offense. D-Wade, he had to learn how to play off the ball or whatever. Chris Bosh had to go to the 5. Why did Chris Bosh have to go to the 5, dog? Why do you have to play center instead of power forward, dog? Why? That's not even his natural position. And the same thing with Anthony Davis. Why does Anthony Davis have to go to the 5, dog? Why? Why does Anthony Davis, that's not his natural position. He's a power forward as well. Why does he have to go to the 5? Think about it, dog. Think about it. It goes deep, dog. His envy runs deep, dog. All right. Think about the All-NBA selections, dog. Think about that. All-NBA selections, All-NBA first team or whatever. If LeBron is competing with another forward, for that first team reward and that honor, you know what I'm saying? In order to be a recipient, he needs that other forward to go to the 5. You see what I'm saying? I need Chris Bosh to go to the 5. That way, I won't have to be competing with him to get all NBA first team honors. I need Anthony Davis to go to the 5. That way, I won't have to compete with him for all NBA first team honors. This is a pattern, dog. This has been a thing, dog. He needs these guys to play out of their position. That way they can't get the award. And you might say, oh, that's petty. Nah, he's not thinking that deep. He's not going that deep. That doesn't make sense. But nah, think about it, dog. Think about it. Narcissistic personality disorder isn't just about physical appearance. People with this disorder tend to put their desires, goals, and needs first, without regard to how their actions might affect others. And yes, this is LeBron James. So when we go to grandiose sense of self-importance, one of the symptoms of that is overestimating their capabilities or holding themselves to unreasonably high standards. And ding, 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 that is LeBron James. He overestimates his capabilities. We just saw it most recently, dog. We saw it most recently in the Denver Nuggets series, dog. Remember game 2? He tried to shoot that 3. He just wanted to shoot it and look good while he did it and look like the hero and hit that clutch shot in that clutch moment. He wanted that moment, dog. He wanted it. But he missed the shot because he overestimated his capabilities, dog. You not clutch, Bron. You're not clutch, dog. And that we're going to get to that too. But look, bragging or exaggerating their achievements. Oh, and one of the most recent ones we've seen is that in-season tournament. Remember, you saw how hard he was waving that trophy above his head. You saw how hard he was shaking. I got the in-season tournament cup. He was going out of his mind. They were popping champagne and everything, dog. He was really bragging and exaggerating that fake achievement, dog. They even hung a banner, dog. Come on, man. He brags and exaggerates many achievements. Look, he came back from 3-1. Okay, you won your third chip. Well, that right there made me the greatest of all time. What? Why'd you say that, dog? Why are you bragging and exaggerating that, dog? Is it really you were the greatest? You were the greatest player of all time? That made you the greatest of all time? Or did that make the Warriors the greatest choke team of all time? I think The Warriors choked way harder than you won that series, dog, because we know that Kyrie was turning up on them. And we know that mismatch with Steph Curry guarding Kyrie was a key reason why you even won the championship. But don't talk about him because of your envy, your frequent envy of players who have bags. No, we don't want to talk about that, dog. We want to talk about you. Let's put the spotlight on you, right? Take that. You need to take that attention away from your teammates, away from the people who helped you, dog. That made me the greatest of all time. That's what he said. Me. He didn't say that made my team the greatest. No, 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 no. He ain't going to give any credit where credit is due. He's going to try to take it all for himself. And that is a trait of his narcissistic personality disorder. Frequent fantasies about having or deserving success. Oh yeah, he thinks he deserves success, dog. He thinks he deserves it. He doesn't really put in the work for it, but he thinks he deserves it, dog. We know about how he doesn't do a lot of practicing. You know, he doesn't do a lot of practicing. He thinks he just deserves the success. He doesn't think he has to work for it. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't do a lot of practicing and working on his game. He might work on a few things and then that's it. And we've heard it before, dog. We've heard teammates saying, oh, yeah, he practices this for like 30 minutes. And then he starts using it in the game right afterwards. You know, like it's in his bag when it's really not. And it's not consistent. And he might use it for that little moment. You know, and it might seem like it's consistent because he got into a rhythm practicing it for like 30 minutes. But that doesn't carry on into series after series and things of that nature. No, it does not. That does not carry on. That does not stay in his bag. It falls out of his bag, dog. But he feels like he deserves it. He deserves it no matter what. You know, he thinks he deserves success. He thinks he deserves power. He thinks he deserves intelligence and that he has intelligence. And we've seen it, dog. We've seen him talk about, oh, I'm so smart. I'm so smart. He thinks he has the highest basketball IQ, dog. Beauty? Yo, this dude thinks he's handsome, dog. He thinks he's handsome. Well, maybe not. Maybe he thinks he's ugly. Who knows? I don't know about that. Love. Oh, maybe love. Maybe not. I'm not sure about that either. You know, I don't know how he thinks about himself when he looks in the mirror or how he thinks about himself when he thinks about his relationships. You know, I don't know him outside of basketball and what he said about the game, really, dog. Self-fulfillment, you know, and he thinks he has fantasies about having or deserving self-fulfillment. He deserves to be self-fulfilled no matter what price someone else has to pay for it. No matter who needs to get fired, no matter who needs to get traded, no matter who needs to get, no matter who he needs, which organization he needs to leave and which team he needs to join and screw everyone he left behind. It doesn't matter. He deserves his own personal self-fulfillment, dog. I don't care about everybody else. Who cares about them? I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And if I'm going to get this max contract and not take a pay cut at 40 years old for this next upcoming season, you know, I don't care. That's my self-fulfillment. Belief in superiority, thinking they're special or unique. Oh, ding, ding, ding. There's LeBron again. Oh, you know what he says, dog. You know what he says. Thinking, oh, I'm the smartest. I'm special. I've always had this innate ability to process information. You know, always thinking he's special or unique. Thinking he's one of the best players in the league. He's always thinking that, if not the best. He thinks he's one of the best. He's always been thinking that, dog. You know, believing they should associate only with those they see as worthy. And you know what that means, dog. You know who he be trying to team up with. You know who he be trying to form relationships with. You know what I'm saying? You saw how he was sitting, courtside with Jeannie Buss and Linda Rambis. You know who, you're the two most powerful women in sports. You're the most powerful women in sports. You deserve it. Yeah, he feels some type of way because he's sitting with the two most powerful women in sports. You see what I'm saying? He should be associated with people he feels who are worthy, dog. And there's been numerous occasions, dog. Need for admiration, fragile self-esteem, boom. LeBron James, fragile self-esteem, frequent self-doubt, self-criticism, or emptiness. And we've seen it, dog. We've seen when he chokes, dog. We've seen when he's had, bad games in the playoffs and things of that nature. Self-doubt, not sure if he should pass it, if he should shoot it, if he should drive it. Not really sure. We've seen him feeling unsure. You know what I'm saying? We've seen how this guy is so insecure. Like he's on freaking X, formerly known as Twitter, arguing with people saying, what did you say about me? What did you say about me? Like he's always constantly looking at what people are saying about him in headlines and things of that nature. For all you basketball savants who think I shouldn't have passed it to Cam Reddish, well, guess what? I trust my teammate. Always stuff like that. Emptiness, maybe he's empty inside, dog. Maybe he is. I don't really know him like that on that personal level, but I know him from a basketball level and his mentality as he approaches this basketball. Preoccupation with knowing what others think of them. Oh, and they even said it on the Mind the Game podcast, dog. He talking about how he be looking. I be going through YouTube. I be looking at these things. Preoccupation with knowing what others think of them. He needs to know. He gotta know what you think because he's always questioning and second guessing himself, even though he much tries to paint this picture and have this narrative, dog. That's why he pays people to talk nice about him, because he needs people to think a certain way of him. He needs the admiration. Fishing for compliments. And that is LeBron James, dog. He's always fishing for compliments. He's always looking for some kind of way for someone to, say something good about him. Whether it's in the media, paying people to do it, whether it's with his teammates. We know what happens, dog. We know when he goes in the back in that locker room and everybody be going, bah, bah, like he's the GOAT, dog. He needs all these people to keep giving him compliments. He's fishing for them. He's searching for them, dog. Entitlement, inflated sense of self-worth. Yes, we know the ego runs large. Expecting favorable treatment to an unreasonable degree. And we know how he be whining, crybaby with the refs. Oh, that was a foul. We've seen him throw temper tantrums. We saw that Boston Celtics game where he got fouled and it went in overtime, but he was crying like the game was already over and going, ref, I got tapped on the arm lightly. Ref, you should have given me a foul call. He's expecting favorable treatment to an unreasonable degree. And the funny thing about it is he gets it, dog. The refs freaking give it to him. We know about the free throw disparity. We know about the differential. That's favorable treatment to an unreasonable degree. 700 more free throws than every other team who's had their opponents. You got 700 more than your opponents, dog. For real? That's your plus? That's your plus differential, dog. And the second team under you is like 300 something. Come on, dog. You at 700 plus, and you still over there crying about every little light touch, light tap. You be flopping all over the ground. You be throwing tantrums. You be yelling at refs. You be yelling at your coach. Hey, throw the challenge. He was doing that at Darvin Ham. Challenge it. Challenge that play. Challenge it. You just challenge. Throwing a tantrum, dog, like a baby. Favorable treatment to an unreasonable degree. And the funny thing about it is he gets it, dog. He gets favorable treatment to an unreasonable degree. Anger, when people don't cater to or appease them. Oh my goodness, what does that mean, dog? Ref, coach, we know he's legendary for his tantrums, dog. Not for his on-court game, for his tantrums, for being a baby, dog. for being a crybaby, for throwing tantrums, for being a drama queen, dog, and showing anger and getting mad, getting pissed off whenever people don't cater to him. You know, they didn't call the foul. What? You're supposed to call foul for me. You're supposed to cater to me. Ah! Ah! Whining crybaby, dog. Soft. Willingness to exploit others, consciously or unconsciously using others. Oh, you know what that means, dog. That's about his teammates, dog. And that's about his coaches, dog. He use them, he abuse them, and he chew them up, he spit them out. You know what I'm saying? Where's the loyalty at, dog? He just use you to get what he want. And then he's on his way. Whether he's sending you on your way or he's going to another team. Whatever the case, dog. And if he gonna use you so he can get more first teams, you gotta go to the 5. If you're a really good forward, dog, you gotta go to the 5. Or if you're Kevin Love, you gotta play out of your position. You gotta turn into a spot up shooter when I'm on your team, because I can't risk you taking an all NBA first team from me, dog. He's consciously or unconsciously using others, forming friendships or relationships with people who boost their self-esteem or status. Oh, ding, 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 LeBron James. And we know that he pays people. We know that he hangs out with people, all the yes men in his crew, everyone, you know, like Rich Paul and all that, all the people he hangs out with, all the yes men, all the people telling him he's the GOAT, all his teammates going bah, bah, everybody trying to give him compliments. Those are the only people he wants to be around. Those are the only friendships or relationships that he wants to have, dog. He told his own wife, yeah, you got to call me the GOAT at these ESPYs. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he's in a relationship with her. That's why that's his wife, because she gonna give him the compliments. She gonna boost his self-esteem. You know, self-esteem or status. We saw who he's sitting with at that courtside. We saw Linda Rambis and Jeannie Buss. We saw them boosting his self-esteem. We saw Jeannie Buss lean on his shoulders, boosting his self-esteem, giving him a pat on the back. Come on, dog. This ain't nothing new, dog. Deliberately taking advantage of others for selfish reasons. And we've already talked about it. There's so many examples. Let's move on. Lack of empathy. Saying things that might hurt others. Oh, and he does do that. He says it in the media. He says things that might hurt others. You know, seeing the feelings, needs, or desires of others as a weakness. Yeah, that's another thing he does, dog. Most of when he says things that might hurt others, most of that is when he's talking to fans, dog. We've seen, you can go back to your boring lives. You know, you have to wake up and have the same problems, the same issues while I'm successful and I'm LeBron James. You know, he'll say things like that, you know, that might hurt others, the fans' feelings, seeing the feelings, needs, or desires of others as a sign of weakness. And that goes with his teammates. He was feeling like Kevin Love was weak because Kevin Love was getting frustrated with having to play outside of his position. Hey, don't fit out, fit in. Stop trying to fit out and fit in. You know, seeing it as a sign of weakness, you know, seeing anything that you feel like you need or your desires. No, that's weak, dog. You gotta hang with me and do what I want you to do. You know, I don't care what you want. Same with the fans. We've been saying for years, dog, this dude need to step up his game. He need to work on his game. He need to be a better shooter. He need to be better at his free throws. He need to have better handles. He need to have a better post game. He need this. He need that. You know. And he sees that as a sign of, well, you don't know the game. That's weak. You don't know the game. You don't know basketball. You know, I'm tired of this talk about a bag. It bothers the out of me. He said it on the Mind the Game podcast. It bothers the out of me. You know, it's 5-on-5 basketball. You don't understand. You don't get it. Not returning kindness or interest that others show. And yes, people, you know, they try to hang out with them. They try to talk to them. They try to, you know, get a high five and things of that nature. We've seen little clips on YouTube, various clips where people try to approach him and he just, you know, like doesn't show the same kindness or interest they show. There was the most recent clip I saw. He was like sitting on the bench before a game or pre-game, or maybe it was during a game. I can't remember. But some fan came and was like, "Hey, LeBron," and like walked up to him, and LeBron looked at him like, "What the like, get away from me, you freak. Don't you know I'm the king? Don't you know I'm the chosen one, you peasant? How dare you walk into the king's presence, you peasant?" You know, frequent envy. Oh, feeling envious of others, especially when others are successful. Ding, ding, ding. LeBron James. Come on. Envious. We know who he's envious of, dog. We know who he's envious of. Whether it's Kobe, whether it's Michael, whether it's anybody who was winning a championship before him, like Dwayne Wade, dog. Feeling envious. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to team up with this guy, And then as soon as I win some championships, then I'm out, you know? Like, come on, dog. There's plenty of people he's envious of. I've already named them earlier. Expecting envy from others. He's always expecting people are hating on him and yeah, you're all haters. Yeah, we're not haters. We just state the facts, but he's always acting like his hate dog. Belittling or diminishing the achievements of others. And that's what he pays people in the media to do, dog. All those Clutch Sports clients, all those people he paying to go on the mainstream sports media and talk good about LeBron, most of them have to try to belittle or diminish the achievements of other players in order to do so. And LeBron himself does it himself. And remember, dog, just the most recent podcast where he was talking about on the Mind the Game. Hey, it's not like a Craig Hodges or a Steve Kerr, guys who can only shoot threes. Yeah, remember that? If you watch that, he said Craig Hodges or Steve Kerr, those are guys that could only shoot threes. That's like all they had in their game. That was basically what he was insinuating and implying. Once again, belittling, any player, that he, sees might be a threat or any kind of threat, he's got to talk about, and belittle and diminish those kind of players. He's always doing such a thing. Patronizing behavior that comes with the arrogance, behaving in a way that's snobby or disdainful. Oh, us entitled rich guys drinking our wine. You see how he be drinking the wine with JJ Redick on the podcast, dog. Talking down or acting condescendingly. Once again, ding, ding, ding. It's all LeBron, dog. It's all LeBron. And then people with NPD may also show other behaviors related to the 9 criteria, but still different, such as fear of or avoiding vulnerability. And that explains the clutch, dog. The lack of clutch he has a fear of. And he avoids being vulnerable. He doesn't want that kind of pressure on him. He doesn't want to feel vulnerable. He doesn't want to show his emotions. In that manner, like when it comes to saying, something vulnerable about himself or revealing something vulnerable about himself, he has a fear of and he avoids. He doesn't want to talk about the vulnerability to his game, the aspects of his game that are weaknesses and flaws. He has a fear of that and he avoids that. Withdrawing from others to hide feeling vulnerable. Yes, he does that as well. He withdraws from others. He withdraws from his own teammates. He sits on the bench and he be over, sitting in a different place on the bench sometimes too. He withdraws from a lot of people to hide feeling vulnerable. One of the things is walking off the court early. He does that a lot before games end and stuff. He be walking off the court already leaving. He's got to withdraw from others, because he doesn't want people to see the disappointment and the sadness and the frustration on his face, dog. He got to get out of there. He got to withdraw from others to hide feeling vulnerable. Perfectionism with or without a fear of failure. And we've heard this dude constantly say in all these interviews, post-game press conferences, and in the Mind the Game podcast, you got to play damn near perfect basketball. But you got to be damn near perfect to win a championship. It's got to be perfect, perfect, perfect. He always talking about how it got to be perfect. And he always trying to get the perfect teammate to play the perfect position and the perfect role so they can win the perfect championship. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a perfect performance. He always expects his teammates to play perfectly, dog. And he's always pointing the finger at them. He's always throwing his hands up. He's always showing his disgust whenever they make a mistake, even though he makes plenty of them, dog. But no, do as I say, not as I do. Hypersensitivity to criticism, rejection, or failure. And yes, he is hypersensitive to all of that. That's why he be on Twitter trying to, battle with people, getting these arguments. That's why he be walking off the court early. That's why he don't want to talk about certain things, that would cause criticism or rejection or failure. Experiencing severe depression related to rejection or failure. And that's a possibility. That's why we got to pray for this fool. Even though, this is all brought on himself. That's the only problem. The only issue I might have is LeBron, he might be depressed, dog. He might be depressed and he might do something to himself, dog. That's a real fear that I have. So we should pray for this man, dog. Reacting with anger or even rage when they feel criticized or rejected. Yes. Faking humility to hide their feelings or protect their sense of self-importance. Yes. Avoiding situations where failure is possible or likely, which is late in games, taking the last shot and things of that nature. Always wanting to pass the ball, dog, instead of taking the shot. He's been notorious for that for his entire career, dog. He usually avoids that. Avoiding situations where failure is possible or likely, which can limit achievements. And yes, it has limited many achievements for LeBron James, especially when it comes to winning in the finals. Oh, it's sad now. It's sad. What causes it? It could be genetics. It could be observing and imitating traits of their parents as a child. It could be negative childhood experiences. It could be trauma, rejection, neglect, lack of support during childhood. Yeah, single mother, single parent household, parenting style, overindulging children. That's his parenting style, dog. Oh, wait. Oh, he may have been overindulged, as a child, by his mom. Overindulging children and overprotective or helicopter parenting may lead to a child who grows to expect and demand the same treatment they receive from parents or parental figures. It may also keep your child from learning to regulate their own feelings and emotions, which can contribute to trouble controlling emotions when things don't go their way. He's still a child, dog. Culture. The culture could do it too. People who grow up in cultures that encourage a sense of community and collective action are less likely to develop NPD. So, the risk seems to be higher in cultures where individualism and personal independence are more encouraged. So there you go. Complications. Substance use disorders, that's a complication of NPD, dog. Some people with NPD may turn to alcohol. Oh, he likes to drink his wine, dog. Or substance use. Oh, he likes to take his PEDs, dog. To help them when reality doesn't meet their expectations. So, and then, suicide is also something that could happen. Extreme depression or even despair when faced with challenges, failure, or rejection. They are less likely to be impulse acts or cries, or these are less likely to be impulse acts or cries for help. This means people with NPD are more likely to complete suicide. So we got to pray for this man, dog. We got to pray for him, dog. Body dysmorphia, what is that? Negative feelings about their body and appearance can make this more likely to happen. Hey, he might have that, and that's probably why he wants to take his PEDs all the time, dog. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we gotta pray for this dude. Mood disorders or bipolar disorder, that's a possibility too. And he always seems like he just goes from 0 to 100 real quick. You know, his mood swings are crazy, dog. And so we gotta pray for this dude, man. We really gotta pray for LeBron James. You know, I know people say, you know, that I'm just some hater. And people who call out LeBron, they're just haters. Nah, dog. I do not hate LeBron James at all, dog. I don't respect him. I definitely don't respect that man. But that does not mean I hate him, dog. And I pray that this dude can come back to the light. I pray that this dude does not commit suicide or do something crazy, dog. And I just pray that he understands this harm that he is bringing to himself. And this harm has spread, dog. It's spread further than just himself. It is spread to everything he's been associated with, especially the NBA, dog. The NBA. So, with LeBron being the narcissist that he is, how does that affect his legacy? No, but seriously, how does that affect how he plays the game, how he thinks the game? You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, we can look at the LeBron system, dog. That system completely developed to work around him, play through him. It revolves around him completely. You know what I'm saying? That's narcissism, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's narcissism. He just had to have it to where everything was his way, dog. It's not winning basketball. As a matter of fact, it loses more than it wins, you know? But, you know, he has insisted on playing that way because of his narcissism. His narcissism has held him back for years, dog. It's held him back from the big moments and really shining when he needs to. You know, it has mentally affected him in many ways with his on-court game, with his unwillingness to improve because he already thinks so highly of himself with his grandiose sense of superiority, you know what I'm saying, and self-importance. Because of that, dog, he doesn't feel like he needs to work on his game. So we can point and criticize all the aspects of his game and all the things he doesn't work on. But we know why now. We know it's because mentally, dog, that's just how he thinks. Because we always ask the question, well, why doesn't he? You know, why doesn't he improve? Why doesn't he? Why doesn't he try to play a different system other than the LeBron system? Why doesn't he try to play in a system? Why doesn't he try to play with a system type coach? You know, why won't he accept any coaching that the coaches try to give him? You know, why doesn't he do that? We know why, dog. He is a narcissist, dog. Then we have these Braun fanboys who literally worship and idolize this narcissist, dog. Says a lot about them, dog. It says a lot about them because they constantly provide excuses for his behavior. Just like LeBron provides excuses for his behavior, you know? They provide excuses for his losses, just like LeBron provides excuses for his losses. You know, they have so much in common. They deserve to idolize their idol because he is made in their image, dog. Yo, this is crazy, dog. Crazy, but enlightening nonetheless. All right? So we see, because of LeBron's narcissism, it prevents him from advancing to a higher level because he thinks he's already there. Mentally, he thinks he's already there, and he has fantasies about it. He wishes he was already there as well, and he's jealous of anyone who's up there, and he'll do anything for the people who are up there above him. Those are the people he tries to bring down. He's got to tear them down. He's got to tear down a Kobe. He's got to pay people to tear down a Kobe. He's got to pay people to tear down a Michael Jordan, dog. You see what I'm saying? He's got to tear down anyone who's actually above him. He had to tear down Kareem, dog. He had to break his scoring record. Not to he was doing that to tear Kareem down, because Kareem has a GOAT case as well. Anybody who's had a GOAT case, dog, those are the ones he has been systematically trying to attack and tear down to put him above, dog. Yep. But it's all just a mental issue, dog. It's mentally just, he's messed up, dog. I'm going to pray for that fool. Yeah. I'm going to pray. Lord, I pray that you bring LeBron to the light, dog. I pray that you help him realize his faults and his flaws and his failures. I pray that you help him to get better, dog. Get better. And I pray, most of all, I pray that you help him to realize truly that he not the GOAT, dog. He not